Welcome back. So today's morning gratitude practice in our altered books is around collage. So grab your collage materials and then find a page. And collage is so infinite, right? You could do anything, but today is the prompt is a garden of gratitude. So creating a garden, a place where you can plant the seeds of gratitude, to nurture them and to bring them into existence. So the theme is garden today with collage, to sort of ground that a little bit. And I actually find collage kind of complicated, to be honest, because there's so many options. And sometimes I'm like, where do you start? So if you don't have collage, but you do want to explore this prompt of the garden, you can also use mark making. But I'm going to keep mine really simple and just go with shapes that, remind me of flowers. So I'm going to cut them out of materials. So these are going to be my flowers. You can choose what you like. Maybe there's an image in a magazine that has a garden, so you can put that in there. See what you're drawn to. A garden of gratitude. Maybe take a double page. This could be my ground, actually. So this is where we will be tapping into color and shape, texture. And it doesn't have to be so literal either, like a garden of gratitude. But yeah, if you're imagining or envisioning, depending on what word works for you, like a really calm, abundant sort of garden, or that's what comes to my mind. Like a place where you can sit and time slows down. Like there's nowhere to go, there's no rushing, there's no lists. A place where you can just be. There might be a hum of insects, or there might be a sweet, gentle breeze. Maybe there's some wind chimes. Maybe it's not a garden, maybe it's a forest. I love that. With collage, you never need to stick stuff down straight away. You can sort of like give yourself, isn't that cute? That's like little bunting. You can give yourself time to muck around with stuff. Dig through your supplies. So like when I say collage supplies, that can be anything. That can be like old birthday cards or Christmas cards that you save the front of. And like that's an amazing thing to chuck into your gratitude journal, to be honest, because oh wow, check this out. That's a cool card. No wonder I kept that. It's got cool wings. These are things that you can keep and kind of put into your book. You're gonna have to, if you find yourself diverging off into a different space today, go for it. It's always, the prompts are always just a place to start. That's what a prompt is. It's like, start here and then go where you go. I always say, you're meant to rebel against things and find your own way, because then it's way more meaningful, right? And you've actually discovered something. And it's absolutely okay to hang on to the prompt and follow it to the infinite degree and really do exactly what the person says. It just depends on who you are and what's important to you. Sometimes it's like what I would describe as like a safety rail. Like prompts can be like that, like just like giving you something to sort of hold on to while you explore creativity. So like if that's you, that's great, right? That's why you come to the places like this. Yes, this is a place for you, where you can be sort of supported in exploring. Because it's not that you're not creative, you definitely are, but look, sometimes life is so hectic that creative spark in us kind of gets dampened, and we have to like dry it out and you know, give it some light and some air. Give it some space to kind of grow. Yeah, grow on your page. Look, I just found some stickers. Well, I've opened the right collage box today. Now, if you're finding that you don't have stuff, that's okay too. You just, you know, we can make makeshift. You can see I'm making little, just like little silly flowers here, just layering up circles. So it doesn't have to be literal at all. It can be a sort of abstract. Colors you like. See, that's a cute little flower. It could be drawing as well. Make it work for you. Bring yourself into this process. And you just never know what you'll find. So I do feel that oh wow, there's so much cool stuff in here. I do find that collage is really about seeking and letting things come to you. Like, no one can really tell you what to choose, like, because what you would choose is so incredibly different to what someone else would choose. And creativity is really about stepping off the ledge and trusting yourself. So use the guardrails of the prompt. Handpick ideas from me if you like. Whatever helps you get there, and without judgment, right? Without judgment. It's wonderful if you're unburdened, and if you're very burdened, then follow along and give yourself that grace to be inspired by somebody else's kind of way of doing stuff until you find your own way. And you absolutely will. You will find your own way. Look at this. So much cool green. Ooh. So many flowers. Look at this garden. It's a celestial garden. That's cute too. And hopefully you're getting this in at a time of day just where you need it. You know, even if you just get this started and then you come back to it later to finish off. I think that's actually a nice thing, to leave things unfinished sometimes, because then that is the invitation to come back and there's something already started, so you're not starting fresh, and you can like just pick up where you left off. So I think there really is something about like not needing to complete everything. Oh, here comes my cat. They always arrive at this time. I'm ready to start sticking stuff down, especially since the little guys arrived. And you might be looking at your page too, because there could be some words that pop out to you. And this is where we might bring in the other techniques we've been working on these past sessions and these gratitude practices that I've been offering. You can bring in any other technique. So you could bring in stitching, watercolor, mark making. You could hide little pockets on the page. I can show you how to do that. We'll do it. Yeah, let's go on there. This is where you just make fast decisions. You're the artist, so whatever you do is correct. Put that there, actually. What else was I saying? Oh yeah, and then you can do like block out poetry. So lots of like in between the spaces, like letting everything that you choose give you an opportunity to keep making more creative decisions and adding on. And also less is more. So if that's overwhelming, because this is really getting comfy with that kind of process. So if that feels like too much, slow it all down, stick to just collage. Shouldn't say just, but I think you know what I mean. Like, make it easy for yourself. Don't be like, oh, she said I have to do all these techniques, so I have to do it. No, you don't. Actually, you don't have to do anything. You could just sit there and watch this. Watch all the colors come together. Watch somebody else's process. Get ideas. You could pretend, like if you say you're watching this and you're sick at home and you're like, I have no energy to do this kind of stuff. I just can't. I hear you. Then you could watch and you could pretend that you're doing it. You could pretend that you're giving me ideas right now. Oh, thank you. That's a great idea. We're doing it collaboratively. I'm using a little bit of imagination there. Why not? Okay, viewer, what should I do next? I mean, I do have the cat here, so he's going to start making some decisions for me, no doubt. Look at, I found these gorgeous little stars. They've got to go in there somewhere, don't they? They're so cute. I'll wait to decide, I think, on those. They might require a different type of application. Alright, so I need some stems, and I reckon this is where I'm going to bring in some stitching. And wouldn't you know, all my threads are tangled. Nothing new about that. But I best pause. Alright, I've got some very tangled embroidery thread here. That's a task for later. I love a bit of collage and stitching. How did I go there? Yes, yes, yes. It is first thing in the morning for me. I don't know what time you're watching this at, but I would say actually this is the best time for me. Do you have a time that is your best, like, creative hour? Like when you're so settled and alive? Watch my cat because he's trying to push things off the counter. Let me know if you also have the same kind of thing going on with your cat, if you have one. You might if you're watching this video. Definitely one for the cat people. So I'm doing some running stitch here. If you haven't seen this kind of thing before, do check out my YouTube channel. I've got quite a few videos that reference this or deep dive into this. And actually, I don't really have a garden. So this is me wishing I had one, because I would love a garden full of dahlias. So maybe you have a garden. Excuse me, cat. Sorry, I just gotta stop him, my delightful creative companion, from eating things he's not allowed to eat. Anyway, if you had a garden, or maybe you do, what kind of garden do you have, or would you have? Like if you could grow anything. Oh, we might be doing a bit of manifesting here, actually. If you could grow anything. I'm seeing some words pop out of the page. Yeah, if you could have any garden. Look how funny the back is. I left this really big bit here. I can work with that later. What would you grow? And it could be, because it's the theme of the gratitude garden, what values you might grow more of. One I'm always trying to grow more of is self-compassion, like not being so hard on myself, like giving myself a break. And always keeping an open mind, which I'm pretty good at actually, I think. But it's one to cultivate, to not make assumptions, to take a more objective view on things, and not decide what things mean immediately. That give things a space to breathe. Yeah, so what would you grow in your garden? And maybe you write it down on the page. Maybe the page already has some words on there that are popping out to you. It's a real curious thing that happens. I think creativity is magic, and I think, and I feel that anytime we kind of really open up to it, like in a way where we trust and let those things come to us, that they will come to us. And by things, I mean like synchronicities, symbols, like little signs. But we need to suspend, this is my opinion, that suspending that kind of rigidity that can come with feeling a bit afraid of the unknown. As I say that, here it is, Discovery Island. I need to capture that. That's it. There's so many good words on this page. I'll go around it so I can come back. Yes, suspending that need to have certainty. I see this a lot in the workshops I run, like this. Like, you have to tell me what to do. Well, what's going to happen? It's like, I can't really tell you what's going to happen, but something's going to happen, and you are going to be okay, and you're going to survive, and you might even find out that you're a bit of a creative genius, because I think most people really are. But the missing ingredient there is like having time and space, and sometimes having, I want to say the right materials, but like having materials maybe that you don't choose, someone else kind of chooses what's available. So then there's a lot more kind of chance to encounter I can't think of the word, but to encounter like a different experience. Because if we always do the same thing, if we always work with the same medium, then there's not much of a chance to stumble across something that is unknown to us. I like to think that there's a lot of things around us that are talking to us all day long, and usually, I mean, we're not taking it all in. That's okay. Like, you can't take everything in. You do have to live. But when we can make pockets of time to be open and receptive, and creativity is so good at making that space for us. I say good, and there's the word good. Maybe I'm reading from the page, hey? Yeah, being in a creative process can open us up to be more receptive to things we might be important for us to know. Oh, look at this gorgeous mess on the back. This is a whole other garden on the back here. This is the tangled weeds. You know, the ones you're meant to get rid of. But they're still there, growing in the garden. You know it's a good garden if it's growing weeds. It means there's space for everything, but you've got to weed it out. Cool. And part of creativity is the kind of, like, I think of it like a life cycle. Like, let's think of the human one. There's like a little bit of like the not knowing, like being absolutely a baby in the world. And then there's like the like kid phase. But I think most people start in the angsty teenage phase where it's like, I don't know what to do. I don't want to do it. It's too scary to be vulnerable and say I don't know stuff. It's too scary to try stuff. So I'm just going to be resistant. I can really relate to that. Yeah, and some people, they might not even try because like the risk of feeling like they might fail is too high. I see this in people who have perfectionist qualities. I have perfectionist qualities too. I am a recovering perfectionist, so I can spot it. And you know, you either project it outwards, like this person's not giving me enough information or telling me enough, or you internalize it and you give yourself a hard time. Coming back to the garden, growing more compassion. So it's good to notice that, because if you're really drawn to creativity, but you find that you're sitting down and all of a sudden there's that voice that's giving you a hard time, there's something there that might need some investigation and tending to. Yeah, there might be some weeds in there. Weeds in your creative space, in your inner space. And it's okay to have a wild inner space. We just don't want it to, all those weeds to be choking all the good things that are growing. Strangling all the things that are wanting to blossom. And of course, those aspects, they absolutely are there for a reason, and we don't have to be harsh to them either. They're protective parts of the psyche. But what could they be limiting, I suppose, is where I'm going. Like, they serve a purpose until they don't. Until they don't. Until you just go, oh my gosh, I'm sick of that. I want it to be different. So however you're working, sorry, you know I love a tangent. I love a tangent and I love a navel gaze. I'd spend my whole time on tangents and navel gaze as if I could. Oh dear. But yeah, how are you working? What are you discovering? Maybe you've turned down the video audio and you are working alongside but making up your own thing. What does your garden look like? And I'm having that nursery rhyme, Mary, Mary, quite contrary. How does your garden grow? Silver bells and cockle shells all in a little row. A blossom tending to blossoms. And how's your inner garden feeling right now? And any response to that is valid. If it's feeling frustrating, that's very valid. And the question I ask would be, where in your life are you feeling quite frustrated? Where else in your life, not just this moment? Or like, is there something that needs more attention right now? Like, do you need a break? Should you walk away from the screen? Should you take a breath? Has this become all too serious? I always tell people in my workshops, you know, this is not life-saving surgery that we're doing here. Everyone goes, because I can feel the tension in the room. What's gonna happen? We all need that reminder. I need that reminder, because we can get really in the mind space of like, what am I gonna do? It's not working. Things don't always work straight away in creativity, and that's the little that's the nudge actually that says, so do something different. And then there'll be some sort of radical sort of like thought, usually, like, what could I, you know, what, like, I have this desire to just rip something out or cut something out of the page, or yeah. And that's called a creative impulse, and I always say follow it. Because what's the risk here? Like, this is the best place to build that intuition, to follow your instincts and trust them, because it's really low risk. In other areas of life, it can be a lot higher risk, but developing that in your creative practice, it does actually ripple out to the rest of your life. Because if you notice yourself, if you can really notice yourself in the moments you're creating, then in creativity, then you really will start to notice yourselves, yeah, there's a lot of them, in other areas, like how you are relating, how you're interacting, what you're bringing to interactions. You don't have to be that self-aware though, that could be a bit exhausting. You also can just like not think too much and just be. That's what we're aiming for, to balance out everything. Okay, I'm going to leave that because I love a tail. Alright, well that seems like a place to kind of stop. I'm going to put in some butterflies though. Aren't they so sweet? I'm going to do this because I never put stickers in. I always save them for people in the workshops. But you know what? I'm going to treat myself and give myself a whole bunch of butterflies. And where are those stars? I better get the stars in there too. Again, like I always save the best for other people, because I know it's just such a kid-like experience to stick down like little stars, and I don't know, stickers feel really special to me. I don't know, what do you think? Do they feel a bit precious, or is it just me? This is gonna be the most beautiful garden. It's a twilight garden now. The stars are coming down. What kind of garden did you make? I would love to know. Alright, so that's a gratitude practice for today. A bit of a longer one, because collage is pretty time consuming, but obviously I added in the stitching. Maybe you're painting, maybe you're drawing. This isn't finished, this is something I'll come back to, but as I said before, it's nice not to finish stuff and to give yourself something to carry on with and come back to, because that's life, baby. Anyway, see you in the next video.